Okay, I am excited to have PPP's 2.0 Nina Dafe here with me today, just to talk about her recent launch of her retreat that she has coming up, which I'm sure she'll also tell you about in case it's something that you're interested in. And yeah, just excited that you're here, Nina. Thank you so much for joining me and taking time out of your day. Can you tell everyone a little bit about you and your business and all the things?
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I love that we get to chat like this. And yeah, as Brenna said, I'm Nina and I'm a PR specialist. So I basically help women in business to go from stump to savvy about how to, do PR for their business and that sort of stuff. So what that has looked like is pitch templates done for you. And I'm also going to be stepping into doing like retreats and more coaching as well. So excited.
Right. And that was part of the reason, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but why you thought about doing the program, right? Was because you wanted to be able to do this retreat. So explain to me like a little bit like how you felt before, when it came to doing, whether it's your launch or your marketing, like what was it like for you?
Yeah. So I think for me, it was interesting. I feel like just even the way that I started my business was very kind of non-traditional and stuff like that. And so I think maybe with the PR sort of background, I tended to do things more in sort of a networky kind of way, word of mouth. And so a lot of the time, to be honest, people just through building relationship would come to me, and that's how I kind of get clients. I think me and you have kind of had discussions where I've been like, I don't like doing the whole social media thing. I'm much better with like, writing and that sort of thing. And so just in general, I think when it came to sort of marketing and promoting, I think I just came into the program just really kind of overwhelmed, but also at a loss for how can I basically make social media and just content creation outside of PR in general my friend, especially because I was thinking of like pivoting and doing more in that sort of sense. So yeah, for me it was almost getting over myself and knowing that I needed to do a bit more than what I was doing,
Right. And I think you said too that you didn't felt like you wanted to be able to do it in a way that like didn't burn you out, right? Because in a past, I think there was you took like a sabbatical, like you had been doing stuff, and then so how did that work?
Yeah, no, that's the thing, because a lot of the sort of gurus or expertise on social media is very much you post every day, multiple times a day, you go, 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 go. And so I tended to have this kind of stop-start relationship with social media where I would do all of that and I would be really, really steady. But I think because it's not actually I guess my zone of genius, and because it's not necessarily the way that I enjoy talking about my business, I would just end up having to take these periods of just off of it. And so literally last year, from I think it was January to September, I was off social media. I didn't post a thing. I was still communicating with people, maybe like DMs or commenting on other people's stuff, but me personally, I wasn't doing anything social media wise at all. It was just me continuing to do what I enjoy, which is networking, actually pitching and those sorts of things. So yeah, it was a long sabbatical. Like I could have had a baby in that time,
So I love that. It's so funny. So what about like what about the program then attracted you, since you were like, oh my gosh, doing all this content stuff just feels like too much, and you have such a strong PR background, right? So what made you think, okay, this is the time to go ahead and try something a little different?
Yeah, so it's really weird because sometimes when I talk to people about it, like they are like, but you do PR, but for some reason to me that's different. Like content creation in terms of putting my thoughts out there, doing something like this, I love. Whereas I think for me social media just seemed very inauthentic because you have to bend to the algorithm and do things in ways perhaps that you wouldn't normally. And what I loved about even just the way that you talked about PPP, well, first of all, just you as a person, you're actually my kind of person, just the kind of jokes that you talk about, the way you put things, I was like, oh, you, if I'm going to speak very, very candidly, you don't always find people who just appear human, you know, and who actually just feel approachable and those sorts of things. So I think that in itself. But I think the other thing also is the way that you talked about PPP was very much in a way of, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can actually do it in such a way that you can, because I think before when I was launching and stuff like that, it would be like the whole, all right, you go all out, these stretches of launch, email, social media, all of that sort of stuff. Whereas what attracted me to the program was, well, actually, you can just take your time and build up to it. It doesn't have to be this mad dash, which speaks more to me. And I think the way that I like to grow things, even with, networking, building relationships, taking time. And also, like I said, because I didn't like working at that pace of go, 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 I knew I needed a system that was going to not lead to burnout, but also that could be rinse and repeat. And it, wouldn't necessarily be that I would have to keep on buying in order to continue to see success,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's something that is really important to like point out is like, is that the program is set up as like a foundational system that you can rinse and repeat again and again. Like, this is not like, oh, you're going to use this just this once. Like, in my mind, it can be the foundation of all of your marketing, and your copy for that matter, moving forward. Would you agree?
Yeah, and it absolutely has been, like, even now, the way that you had us, like write the emails and, make sure that that's something that could be filtered out into our social media. So I didn't feel like I was like creating for email and then creating for social media and like just burning out and spreading too thin was huge. And already just with some of the methods that you taught us, the market research, how to actually gauge what people are thinking, all the way through, and asking those sorts of questions. Like, even I've been doing the sales page for my retreat this week as well. And it's been great just to go into the documents that I did for homework and just pull from what we had. Like, I don't feel like I'm having to do too much brain work, And so, yeah, I literally, as I'm thinking about the fact that this is probably going to be the first of many, I already have ideas for how, even just in the moment, I can do more market research or just bounce off of this in order to, do more. So it's been huge.
Yeah, I've been like on a voice of customer because it's not very sexy, right?
Yeah.
What helps you be a better marketer, what helps you sell more, it's voice of customer. But I think you just nailed it so well that like, yeah, you can use it for like, yes, it's used in the pre-launch, but you can now turn around and use it in your sales pages. You can use it in social media. You can use it in your conversations even, because now right? Even right in that. And I love your approach, especially because PR, because I feel like, to me too, when you can do PR and get more visibility, and then you can compound that by having a system. And I speak from my own experience. Like, then you compound it with like, okay, I have this system of content that's putting out there so that when I do attract people to me from PR, now they can go and look and check me out. And that's really when you start getting, and I talk about it a lot, is like this undercurrent momentum that helps fuel your business, whether it's this launch or next promotion or whatever you're putting out there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I found. Like, there's now this foundational content that I think sometimes as well with PR, people can come and they'll check you out, your social media or, your website. And it's like, oh, was that a fluke? Or is she actually, really an expert, So actually having that foundational content, I think, is huge. And even just, like I said, because previously I preferred to do more of like the networking and that sort of thing, I have been able to even seed and talk more confidently about this, service, this whole event that I'm going to be putting on as well. So I think in all avenues of marketing, like you said, whether it's PR, social media, just talking, like the language, I think that you get from all of the work that you had us doing on thinking about voice of the customer, but also, what we want from outcomes and so much more. You just feel a lot more confident in actually speaking about yourself, what you do, and what it is that you're actually trying to do as well, especially if it's something that you've never done before. So you're actually talking about something quite abstract. That's huge, you know?
Right, right. And I think it comes back to like all that core messaging work that we do, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's not just, oh, I'm just pulling this out of a hat. I know this is what my people want to hear, and it
Yes.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit like what your experience was inside the program, like going through?
Yeah, no, I think that do you know what I really loved about the experience actually the most was being able to get your feedback. You know, so many times you do programs and you're kind of left to your own devices in a way. It's like, okay, well, if you get results, that's up to you, you know, and they kind of make it like a mindset issue or a you issue. But it's actually really nice to have somebody who you know deeply cares about your outcomes, and also another set of eyes on what it is that you're thinking, and just helping you to, first of all, think, because sometimes you can be so in your own business that you kind of know what you want to say, or you know, that sort of thing, but you need somebody else to look at it and go, oh, well, what does it actually mean, or could you expand on this, or you know, those sorts of things. And then also within the group coaching sessions as well, being able to hear what other people were doing and either get ideas or, you know, receive. Sometimes we'd have like impromptu coaching because someone would jump in and go, actually, can I just say something? So that was really, really helpful. Like I loved the support of the whole program. And then the other thing as well, for me, because I'm someone who loves structure, you know, just being very clear what the steps were, you know, just, all right, first you do this and then you do that. Like it was all very clear. It was something that you can easily follow. And so, as I said, you know, as I'm thinking about, okay, what could you do better next time? Or how can you make your event better, or you know, all of those sorts of things, I know I can go back to this and it's something that I can rinse and repeat and do again, you know, and not even just this, you know, for something else too, you know.
Yeah, no, I love that. And it's one of the reasons too, like, I'm like, this is not like a course, right? This is I was like, it's a way of life. No, just kidding. But it is like getting like that feedback, because that's
Yeah.
my goal too. You know, for anyone who's watching or interested, is like, yes, I want to give you a plan and a system, but I also want to give you like that strategic mind, and matching that up with being able to write copy, right? Like if you can establish those things in your business and know how to do that, like you're unstoppable, because that's what stops us so much time, right? Is like we get in our own heads, or we don't know what to talk about. So we don't have like a system for getting more content out into the world and repurposing, or like the copy skills behind it. And so that's something I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's been a really important component. And, you know, when I think, oh, should I have like done this, you know, this program and made it like, you know, more like a course or less expensive, I think the missing out on like that messaging and feedback is so important
Yeah.
to creating in a really like amazing content plan for your launch, but also like just like we've talked about so much, like in the entire realm of your business. So I know that you have, tell everyone about your really cool retreat, first of all, that you have coming up, and was one of the things that we worked on inside the pre-launch plan program. And then I'd love to tell you to say like some of the results that you've gotten using what you learned inside.
Okay, awesome. So the retreat that I'm going to be hosting is in Tulum, Mexico. It's called Media Magic, and it's basically for business women, you know, experts, coaches who want basically to uncover like a quick systemized process for, you know, pitching the media so they can get, you know, more results, you know, more visibility, raking in larger paydays, all of that sort of jazz, right? And it's going to be, I think I said this, Tulum, Mexico, July 27th to the 31st. And yeah, I think one of the things that I really loved about the program, first of all, is I didn't come in actually necessarily thinking I was going to do a retreat. So this is actually one of the things that definitely came out of this. I, like you, was thinking more along the lines of a course, but in just talking to my audience and figuring out what they wanted something more hands-on. They wanted to meet in person. They actually wanted to do, have more sort of coaching and teaching. And so it's just been a really beautiful process in a way of almost collaborating with them. And just hearing what they want. And so I feel like this has actually been the most confident I've been in launching, just because I know it's something that they want. And I've, to your point of, what the outcomes that I've seen, people literally volunteering, raising their hands and saying, hey, I want to come, and so to a certain extent, I actually already have like a core group of people, almost like a inner circle who I know are interested in. So I can spend more time sort of talking to them and getting their feedback. And then on the other side of things, raising the awareness for, people who, might need a bit more nurturing kind of thing. Other than that, what's been really cool as well is, out of that, people saying, hey, I think I could contribute in this way. So I already have, other hosts, other people that I'm collaborating with. And it's just become actually this thing. Like, so I was saying to Brenna before we even came on, originally as well, when I was thinking about hosting an event, I was thinking, oh, it would just be in London. Now it's going to be abroad. So I feel like PPP, first of all, helped me to hone in on what my audience want, but also to a certain degree, what I want, as a businesswoman, and what lights me up. So I'm actually super excited. And yeah, anyone who is feeling like this calls to them, feel free, to come along too.
Yes, get a hold of Nina, and go on that retreat. But I love everything that you're saying, and that you feel so confident. I think the cool part, and the part that really like gets me excited, is like you've been able to do it in a way that feels really good to you, and to sell something in a way that doesn't feel right, like you're pushy or salesy. And you've been able to use the program to, as you said, like seed along the way this cool thing that you have coming up, and get people interested. And this is what I always talk about time too, that I think the beautiful part is like when you get people interested, and you have interest, like it creates a natural FOMO because other people are already joining, but it also creates a confidence in us because we're like, oh, okay, great. I know that this is working. And then it kind of like, and the confidence helps you attract even more people,
Yes.
right? So yeah. I love that. So as we wrap up here, if someone's interested or kind of on the fence, and they were talking to you about like, is the pre-launch plan program something that I should even consider or invest in? What would you say?
I would say I understand. Because obviously we all kind of feel like that before we invest in stuff. But I would say, as someone who has gone through it, it is definitely something that should be invested in. I think if you're kind of sick of feeling burnt out, if you are sick of the frustration of, oh my God, what do I even say to these people? And how do I say it in a way that they will actually want to join my program, or whatever it is that I'm selling? Like, this is such a comprehensive and actually easy to follow way of actually getting to that. And for me as well, I think what has been invaluable is exactly what you said. I don't feel like I am marketing in a way that doesn't suit me. It doesn't have to be this aggressive, pushy, slimy, salesy thing. Like, you can be human, you can actually just come at it as, hey, if you have a problem, I can solve it, and let's work together. So I would say, look, just jump in, and as long as you actually do the work, you will see the results. I think it's actually impossible not to, when you spend so much time actually delving into the brain of, you know, your ideal client, and being able to actually communicate with them in such a way that they're actually raising their hands like my guys are and saying, hey, I want to be a part of this too. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being part of the Free Lunch Plan program. And if anyone else has questions, if you're watching this now or later, hit me up. Doors officially open March 22nd. But thank you, Nina, for taking time out of your day to come and chat with me.
Oh, thank you again for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.